She put a gun to my daughter's head, my 10-year-old daughter, who can't even walk without her wheelchair. That's when she went too far. What she didn't know? 3 weeks before, I'd come back from deep inside enemy territory. I was a covert ops operative in the U.S. Delta Force. But in this Showtown paradise, I was not a warrior. I was just a father who was soon to unleash hell. Let me bring you back to the start. The first day we moved in, I sensed it. Something was wrong. You know that nervous silence that lingers around homes that seem too perfect? That was this suburb, uniformly manicured lawns, houses that were exactly the same, mailboxes a matching sterile gray. It was like entering a model town where one misstep could set off something nasty below the surface. My wife Emily adored it, referenced it as a dream, a place to safely raise Ava, our little girl who is in a wheelchair, but whose eyes are full of wonder. Ava adored the neighborhood park and its massive oak tree with a butterfly garden to its side. Me? I sought peace. Years of combat had left me wanting only quiet, normalcy. But normalcy wasn't what we received. That's when she came into our lives. Karen. No hello, no introduction. Criticism. While I was unloading boxes, she showed up, clipboard in hand, pink visor cinched tight over her critical eyes. "You've put in a ramp," she said tartly. "That requires HOA approval." I remained level-headed. "It's for my daughter," I said. "It's staying." And so the war started. Minor offenses began arriving at our doorstep like enemy messages. A rainbow welcome mat? Infraction? Ava's soft wind chime? Noise disturbance. I attempted to be a diplomat. I mean, I'd weathered minefields and militants. Surely I could manage a power-tripping neighbor. But Karen was not merely a neighbor. She was the HOA tyrant. You either complied with her or disappeared into respectful silence. She wielded the HOA charter as a bludgeon and constructed a kingdom of fear and fines. Yet I remained calm, until the day she crossed the line. It was a golden afternoon on Tuesday. Emily was at work in the hospital and Ava had gotten out of school. She wished to go to the park, to her beloved oak tree, with her new butterfly book. I rolled her down the sidewalk. She was dressed in her sunflower hoodie and hugged her stuffed bunny, Mr. Wiggles. She radiated. When we arrived at the park, she requested to sit under the tree by herself. I hesitated, then complied. I sat a few feet away, observing her soak up the sun, completely serene. That's when Karen's Lexus sped around the corner like something from a movie. She slammed her door, stormed out onto the grass, and pointed directly at Ava. "What is she doing there?" she snarled. "That tree is HOA property." I jumped up, taken aback. "She's reading. In a park. She's not hurting anything." "She's hurting the roots," Karen screamed, her voice rising in pitch. "She needs to get out." I stepped between them. "Back off," I told her. And then she did the unthinkable. From her voluminous handbag, Karen produced a pistol. She didn't blink, didn't hesitate, pointed it right at my daughter. "Get her away from you," she spat, "or I'll do something you'll hate forever." Time suspended. I only saw Ava's white-faced face, stricken in her chair, arms around Mr. Wiggles, eyes staring into the business end of a gun. That's when instincts took control. In a smooth sweep, I bridged the distance, took her gun away from her, and threw her to the ground. The pistol went flying out of her hand. Her bag burst open on the lawn, receipts, gum, and anger everywhere. I put my boot on the gun and kicked it as far away as I could. Neighbors spilled out of their houses. A teenager clicked record on his phone. Someone called 911. Karen rolled over, face contorted in shock, hugging her arm and yelling about assault. But it was too late. The queen had fallen, and the entire neighborhood had just witnessed exactly who she really was. She gripped her wrist, screaming like a culprit apprehended in the act. "He attacked me! He's insane! Arrest him!" Her acting was melodramatic but pathetic. 3 police cars arrived in a matter of minutes, sirens flashing, motors rumbling like a warning. 2 officers moved forward gingerly, hands resting on holsters, before one peered closer. His eyes opened wide. "Sergeant Carter?" he asked. I nodded at him. Acknowledgement danced across his expression, and he relaxed at once. "Didn't know you relocated here." I told him the whole thing, quick. I showed him the teen's video already going viral online. Then the witnesses confirmed it all. And Karen? She was still on the lawn, her mascara streaming, yelling threats and insults into the air. But the officers weren't having it. She was cuffed on the spot on the lawn, and that's when the real tale unfolded. The gun? Unregistered. No license. Picked up at a gun show, just in case. And this wasn't her first crime. Neighbors provided testimony, threats, intimidation, even one that involved a boy on his scooter too close to her bushes. This time she wasn't going to get away with it by bullying. They hired her on the spot. There were charges piling up quick. Brandishing a weapon, child endangerment, assault with a deadly weapon, possession of a weapon illegally. A pink visor and a clipboard do not render you invincible. That evening, Ava was subdued. She hugged Mr. Wiggles and hardly uttered a word. Emily returned home from the hospital shift in tears. But Ava? She held up. Whispering in her softest tone, she inquired, "Daddy, will she come back?" I wrapped my arms around her. "No, sweetheart. She won't, I promise." The following day, news traveled faster than wildfire. Individuals who never bothered to talk to us walked across the street just to say hello. They brought food, flowers, sorries, hope. The HOA conducted an emergency meeting. In unison, Karen was removed from her presidency. A new interim president took over, Talia, the same woman Karen once fined for installing a pink garden gnome on her porch. The irony was sweet. During that weekend, something incredible happened. The new board organized a community event in the park. They gave Ava an award, Honorary Park Guardian. They even planted a tree in her honor and paved the path so her wheelchair could easily access the old oak tree. No child should ever be afraid under its branches again. Months have passed since then. Karen is going on trial. Her attorneys attempted to spin it, claimed she was stressed, overwhelmed, misunderstood. But the video spoke the truth. It went viral. People from all over the country sent Ava drawings, messages, even presents. The outrage wasn't local, it was national. As for me, I'm once again just dad, or at least attempting to be. But something in me changed that day. I learned something important. No matter how far I try to distance myself from my past, the world doesn't stop needing guardians. Occasionally, the enemy isn't camouflaged or marching under a foreign flag. Occasionally, they sport pastel-colored cardigans and clipboards. And when that enemy puts the screws to your family, your child, you don't back down. You fight back. I never intended to be a hero again. But for Ava, she's my mission now. And I do not fail on mission.